Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name's Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Lieutenant Commander Peter Bartholomeusz. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. Could I ask you to please stand and join in singing the National Anthem? If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations over more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Joseph Varley. Popularly known as Joe, Joseph James Varley was born in 1896 to John and Sarah Varley of Golden Square, near Bendigo, Victoria. He attended the Marist Brothers College in Bendigo and went on to work as a blacksmith for Flood and Sons Carriage Builders. He was a member of the Hibernian Australian Catholic Benefit Society, a church-based support network that was very popular amongst a wide circle of friends. Varley enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force in late 1914 and underwent a period of training in Australia before leaving for active service overseas with reinforcements of the 7th Battalion. He was first sent to Egypt and from there to Gallipoli, arriving on the peninsula on the 8th of May 1915. On the 29th of June 1915, Private Joe Varley was shot by a sniper. He later wrote to his brother to tell him what happened, writing, "We sat under our firing line towards the Turks and then made a new firing line parallel with theirs, but never took the top off. We were going to surprise them and open it up the first dark night. Well, the sapper and my mate and I were building up a petition to shield us as we passed along, and I volunteered to put a couple of sandbags on the outside to keep it from falling over. I had just placed a second when one of their snipers got me from about 60 yards. Varley added, "I was on my side when I got hit, and it went through my right shoulder, through the joint and right lung, and came out my back. In fact, the bullet had to be cut out of his back, and he spent 10 months in hospital in England recovering." Private Varley rejoined his battalion in late 1916 on the Western Front, as prepared to participate in the heavy fighting around the French village of Pozières. In the early hours of the 18th of August 1916, the 7th Battalion filtered into trenches to the northeast of the village, and that evening attacked nearby German positions. Private Varley failed to return from the operation and was posted as missing. After some months of investigations, it was determined that he had been shot in the chest and made a prisoner of war. His wounds proved serious and he died on the 24th of August 1916 in a German hospital. He was 20 years old. Joseph James Varley was buried in the local cemetery in the French village of Caudry, where he lies today under the words, "May the Lord have mercy on his soul." His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among more than 60,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Joseph James Varley, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you a very good evening. Thank you.